Hello, in this video we will talk about digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. For the digestion of carbohydrates, the first step that occurs is hydrolysis of carbohydrates, that is addition of water so that the molecules can be broken down into two. The main carbohydrate food in our diet are sucrose, which is a disaccharide commonly known as cane sugar. Then there is lactose, which is found in milk and is a disaccharide. Starch, large polysaccharide found in non-animal food like potatoes and rice. Amylose, pectin, glycogen and lactic acid, etc. are also very commonly found. Right. So here we can see the digestion of carbohydrates start in the mouth and stomach. When food is chewed, it is mixed with salivary amylase, an enzyme secreted by the parotid glands in our mouth. This salivary amylase then hydrolyzes starch into a disaccharide maltose and other polymer of glucose. So here we can see that this is a amylose backbone of a starch molecule. Starch have amylose or amylopectin backbone. Amylase enzyme or alpha amylase enzyme hydrolyzes it and forms maltose disaccharide and glucose. But in mouth, only 5% of total starch is digested before it is swallowed. So the food then goes into the stomach. Digestion of carbohydrates then continues in stomach, right? Because when food is swallowed and reaches the stomach, where starch digestion continues until the food gets mixed with the acid secretion. Because when the pH of the stomach is lower than 4, then the salivary amylase stops working, because every enzyme has an optimum pH, temperature, etc. and the salivary amylase is also an enzyme which could not work below this pH. So when acid is secreted into the stomach, and so after which amylase stops working. Up to then 30 to 40% of total starch has been hydrolyzed into maltose. The rest again continues in the small intestine. So digestion of carbohydrates in small intestine, only 30 to 40% have occurred until now. So digestion of carbohydrates in small intestine occurs by the secretion of alpha amylase enzyme released by the pancreas. So again another pancreatic amylase is secreted by the pancreas into the small intestine. So when starch or food comes here, so pancreatic amylase is secreted, and again the starch is then broken down into maltose and oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides mean small polysaccharides or small polymers of carbohydrates. So it is broken down, the starch is broken down, and then we know that this pancreatic amylase is more powerful than the salivary amylase. So when chyme, the food, is emptied into the duodenum, all the carbohydrates is digested here, that is converted into maltose and glucose polymers. In this picture we can see that if this is a starch or glycogen, amylase then breaks down into maltose, right? And then maltase enzyme function we will study in the next slide. So what happens here is that the enterocytes are the cells that line the villi of small intestine, contain 4 enzymes: lactase, maltase, sucrase and alpha dextrase, right, which converts the disaccharides into the respective monomers. So here we can see these are the villi of small intestine, and the cells lining them, these in the assumed view, these are the enterocytes, right? and there are some goblet cells as well, but here we are talking about enterocyte. And these enterocytes have the enzyme, the lactase, the maltase, the sucrase, and the alpha dextrase. Right. So how the gastrointestinal absorption occur? But before that, we have to study another thing. In this one, here we see that after the pancreatic amylase has broken down the starch into maltose and oligosaccharides, then contact digestion occurs, which means that when they reach here, these are the enterocyte or the villi, where the enterocyte will be there. So when they come in contact, these maltose and oligosaccharide come in contact with these villi, which contains the maltase, dextrinase, or glucoamylase enzymes. Then they break the maltose down into two glucose molecules. For example, the maltase enzymes breaks down the maltose into two glucose. The sucrose is broken down by the sucrase enzyme into one glucose and one fructose, and the lactase enzyme breaks down the lactose into one glucose and one galactose. These disaccharides needed to be broken down into monosaccharides because monosaccharides are very readily absorbed in the small intestine, but disaccharides are large molecules and it's not very easily absorbed, right? So we have seen this now here. So here the folds of Cracker-Ring, villi and microvilli increase the mucosal absorptive area by 1000 folds, right? So we have, these are the plicae circularis or the folds of Cracker-Ring. Cracker-Ring, right? The folds of the mucosa, right? This is the mucosa, and the folds of this are known as the rings of Cracker-Ring, right? And these folds form, on the top of these folds there are villi. These purple things are villi. These are the villi upon the Cracker-Ring, rings of Cracker-Ring. And upon the villi, upon one villi, there are the epithelial cells like these. One epithelial cell, another epithelial. These are the microvilli brush border, right? So we have to know that the absorptive surface of small intestine has numerous folds of Cracker-Ring, and to increase the surface area, located on the epithelial surface of small intestine are millions of villi, increasing the surface absorption by 10 folds. Finally, present on every villi are thousands of microvilli of around the size of 1 micrometer length, increasing the surface by 20 folds, right? So absorptive area of the small intestine is increased about 1000 folds, right? Including the ring of Cracker-Ring, the villi and the microvilli. Including all these, the absorptive area is increased up to 1000 folds. Now major absorption occurs through small intestine and large intestine. Stomach is a poor absorptive area because it lacks villi, and junctions between the epithelial cells are tight junctions, right? So absorption mostly occurs in the small intestine and in large intestine, but stomach, if I make one here, the stomach, there are no villi present like there are in the small intestine and large intestine. There are no villi present in the stomach, so rarely any absorption occurs here, except a few drugs like aspirin can be absorbed and alcohol can be absorbed in small quantities, but that's it, right? So in this it is about the villi, right? So here we can see each structure of a villi, this one, and these are the enterocytes lining the villi in all sides. These are the enterocyte here in a larger view, the villi, and these are the enterocytes in even a more larger view. Here's the capillary. From here the food comes. These enterocytes are the maltase, sucrase enzymes which break down the maltose into two glucose molecules, and lactose is broken down by lactase enzyme into two molecules of fructose and galactose, and then they are absorbed into the cell, and then they reach the capillaries and into the blood and goes into the circulation, right? And there is also a lacteal, central lacteal, this white thing, which is actually absorption of lymph vessel. The lacteal is here, the absorption into the lymph vessels, right? There's capillary network, and that's it, I suppose. An absorption of iron. Sodium is the most important ion that is absorbed is sodium, right? So sodium is actively transported through intestinal membranes. The sodium concentration inside the cell is reduced actively transporting sodium through basolateral part using sodium potassium pump. So if sodium is inside, more sodium is inside, then sodium can't get inside from this side. So what they do is take sodium outside from this cell using these sodium potassium pump. So by these sodium potassium pump on the basolateral membranes, these two are basolateral membranes here, sodium potassium pumps takes the sodium outside. So sodium inside is lowered down, less sodium is now inside. So sodium from outside now moves along with its gradient, concentration gradient inside the cell. This can happen with a sodium hydrogen exchanger, like this, that for each sodium molecule one hydrogen ion is secreted out and one sodium ion gets inside. So like this, by the secondary active transport, secondary active transport, sodium is taken inside the cell and hydrogen ion is secreted out. Now sodium is transported through numerous proteins like sodium amino acid co-transporter, sodium glucose co-transporter, etc. along the electrochemical gradient. So here we can see the sodium is also transported the sodium amino acid co-transporter, sodium glucose co-transporter, etc. Here we can also see how water is transported. Now water absorption or transportation is isosmotic, that is water is transported through intestinal membrane by simple diffusion. It occurs by simple diffusion. Therefore when chyme is diluted enough, water is absorbed by the villus into the blood by osmosis. Now aldosterone greatly enhances sodium ion absorption. So aldosterone is a hormone that is secreted by the cortex of the adrenal gland. When a person is dehydrated, then adrenal cortex secretes large amount of aldosterone, which causes increased absorption of sodium ion through intestinal epithelium. This increase in sodium ion absorption causes secondary increase in absorption of chloride ion H2O. So aldosterone, what it does is that it increases enzymes or membrane proteins required for the sodium to be absorbed. For example, we already studied that hydrogen sodium pump is used for the absorption of sodium into the cell. So this aldosterone might increase the expression of the sodium hydrogen pump on the luminal part of the luminal membrane of the cells, by which the sodium absorption will be increased. So by these function of aldosterone, the absorption of sodium is increased, and when the absorption of sodium is increased, it causes a secondary increase the absorption of chloride ion and water, because chloride ion of course is absorbed along with sodium. and water is, of course, when salt will increase inside the cell, water will also be needed to be absorbed. Now, absorption of chloride ion. An absorption of chloride ion occurs in the upper part of the small intestine. Chloride absorption is rapid and occurs via facilitated diffusion. That is, absorption of sodium ion in the epithelium creates electronegativity in the chyme. For example, if this is a introsite of the villi and here sodium is absorbed inside the cell, so when sodium will increase inside, there will be more positive ion inside, and thus chloride ion, which is a negative ion, will be attracted towards it. So chloride will be absorbed along with sodium. There will be electropositivity inside this cells, and thus chloride ion moves via facilitated diffusion along with its electrical gradient. Right, now chloride ion is also absorbed in the ileum and large intestine through the brush border by bicarbonate ion and chloride ion exchanger. So here we can see that there is this bicarbonate and chloride ion exchanger, this one. So for each chloride ion, one bicarbonate ion is secreted outside. Right. So chloride ion leaves the basolateral membrane through chloride ion channels, and once the chloride ion gets inside and bicarbonate ion gets outside, this chloride ion, then this is a chloride channel. Through this chloride channel, this chloride gets in the interstitial fluid and gets out. Absorption of bicarbonate ion. Now, large quantities of bicarbonate ion is absorbed from upper small intestine because large amounts of carbonic acid is secreted, bicarbonate is secreted into duodenum in both pancreatic secretions and bile. So, because the pancreas and the liver bile secretes a lot of these ions, bicarbonate ions, in the bile juice and through the pancreas. This is done to decrease the acidity, right? It is used as a base to neutralize the acid secreted from the stomach. So when these are released into the small intestine, so not to waste them, they needed to be absorbed as well. So moderate amount of hydrogen ion, these bicarbonate ion is absorbed. We can see here that when sodium and hydrogen ion exchanger are there, so when hydrogen ion is getting out, for one sodium ion getting outside, so this hydrogen ion then combines with a bicarbonate ion and forms carbonic acid, and then carbonic anhydrase enzyme again breaks it down into water and carbon dioxide. Now we know that carbon dioxide is very easily absorbed inside the cell, right? So carbon dioxide is absorbed into the cell, and again inside the cell the carbon dioxide can either combine with water to again form carbonic acid, or the carbon dioxide might go to the blood and then carried off to the lungs to be exhaled out. Now, absorption of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are mainly absorbed as monosaccharides, and only a small portion is absorbed as disaccharides, right? So I already told you that monosaccharides are small molecules, as you all know, so they are easily absorbed, while disaccharides are a bit larger, so it's hard to absorb them directly. Thus there are many enzymes like lactase, maltase and sucrase to break down those disaccharides into their monosaccharides to be absorbed easily. Now glucose is the most abundant carbohydrate that is absorbed along with small amounts of fructose and galactose. So how this glucose, which is the most abundant carbohydrate monosaccharide to be absorbed, is absorbed? Here we can see sodium glucose co-transporter. Glucose is transported by a sodium co-transporter or secondary active transporter. So here sodium inside the cell is reduced via these sodium potassium pump. The sodium potassium pump pumps the sodium outside and pumps potassium inside. So when sodium is lowered down inside, then concentration gradient is formed along with, and so that sodium from outside can get inside along with its concentration gradient, and that concentration gradient can drag glucose along with it as well. So sodium drags the glucose inside along with it, right? So I suppose that's about it about the absorption of carbohydrates. The similarly, just like glucose, other amino acids and other like fructose and galactose are absorbed in the same way via the sodium co-transporter or other co-transporters, after which the glucose gets outside and then goes into the bloodstream. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you.